Good morning to you, Landon, and thanks for joining us. Crazy start to the week already for both sides here. Market's seen a little bit of intraday volatility here, selling off a bit. But Landon, we wanted to focus in on Levi denim and the denim industry as a whole throughout this. Are people still going out and buying jeans even though they're sheltered in place?
No, they're not. That's the short answer, but we can get into the long answer. So if we look at, we actually have a cool chart on total denim overall, and you can see pretty clearly the effect that this sort of shelter in place or this quarantine has had on that. Actually, overall, that trend was doing very well up until this, and then a hard, sharp turn south on that trend in March or so. And so obviously that's going to impact Levi quite a bit. That is a large majority of their revenue. And so they're struggling with that, of course. They have earnings after hours, I believe. And, the thing about the earnings after hours is they're doing well on the quarter that's being reported. That quarter ended at the end of February. So that was kind of before all of this happened. And so we didn't have to worry about that. So I think they're going to do well on the numbers for this report, but it's all about that outlook overall. So you can see just how well this chart is. It's just not that great. I mean, there's a big cutoff right at the beginning of March, and it's been falling ever since. When we look at Levi in particular, just the purchase intent for Levi, they've actually had a really strong uptrend since about 2015, doing really well, doubled from the bottom of 2015 purchase intent when we look at the 30-day moving average here. And of course, you can see a massive trail off over the last month or so, down about 30%. Now, their competitor, American Eagle, one of their biggest competitors, is down about 38%. So it's not just them, it's overall denim in general, and Levi is definitely hurting from this. I think that going forward, it's going to be all about when is this going to end, because people are not thinking about buying jeans right now. That's not their top priority. They're lounging around in their sweatpants or doing whatever they are at home, and it's just looking good and going out is not a top priority for people right now. So Levi is back of the minds.
That's so funny that you talked about sweatpants. Jeans, I thought, were the casual thing to wear at home. Sweatpants, if you're wearing sweatpants at home, here's my message to you. You've given up. You've stopped. You've stopped trying. If you're wearing sweatpants at home, come on, put some pants on. Stay focused in this environment. But here's my question. I think that these drop-offs in sales and expectations and stock prices and all these names, you got to think that some of these are going to snap right back once these stores get to be opened. And, Levi's, it looks like it's down more than 40% off its highs. With earnings coming out, it's beat 3 of the last 4 earnings quarters. But this stock has been basically almost, on its lows, it was more than half, more than down 50%. So at least from a perspective of, it's $12. I can see the ground here. Is Levi's losing, Landon, in your opinion, are they losing the competitive battle to American Eagle, or are they still the main brand of blue jeans out there?
No, I think they've actually done fairly well. I mean, like I said, their purchase intent has basically doubled since its low in 2015. The publicly traded wise, they're only a year old, and they've, like you said, they've been cut in half basically since their IPO. Right. But they are on the uptrend. They're doing well, and so I think that American Eagle's probably beating them on the direct-to-consumer front. But overall, Levi has been doing very well before all of this. Now, one thing that's kind of in consideration is that all of these companies have been hit by Lululemon and the athleisure wear aspect. And so Levi was actually sort of late to be hit by that because 67 or 2/3% of their revenue is for men. And it took a while for men to come around to Lulu and for Lulu to start really catering to men. And so that's starting to build a little bit more pressure on Levi, that whole athleisure wear, especially for men. So I think that that's another competitor that they've got to face now. It's not just American Eagle. So, I know Lulu doesn't really make denim, but it's just another choice that men can make, and that's a big percentage of Levi's revenue. So they've got to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation, Landon, kind of those trend shifts in the overall denim landscape in terms of moving maybe away from denim, but it still seems to be kind of a staple in a lot of people's, everyday wardrobes in terms of wearing jeans. How seasonal is something like denim purchases, though, as it's a little bit, more optimal maybe to wear them when it's colder out than it is in the summer, where, shorts are maybe the go-to for a lot of people around the world?
Yeah, it's definitely seasonal. And I think that going into summer is probably a good time to have something like this happen, because the bulk of their sales have already happened for winter. So I guess it's good timing, if there ever could be good timing for something like this. And one of the things that we've actually done is we've looked at a probe into the data onto what is the pent-up demand, which is something that we're sort of starting to look at here at LikeFolio, is what can people not wait to do? What are they looking forward to do as soon as all of this is over? And denim is not one of those things. They're looking forward to going out restaurants and seeing their friends and maybe going on some trips. But people are not talking about, I can't wait to go buy jeans. That's actually down about 60%. So even more so than the purchase intent. So it's not something that they're talking about doing. Maybe once they start going out and feeling like they need to look good, they'll start buying new clothes, but that's not something that people are showing that they're talking about doing right now.
Yeah, Kevin, I know one of the first things I'm looking forward to doing is getting a haircut, but I'm not sure if that applies to you or not. But when you hear some of these changes in terms of the landscape away from denim and into things more like these, kind of mock golf pants in a way that, the athleisure wear from a company like Lululemon, does that concern you if you're thinking about a legacy company like Levi, or, like I said, is there always a spot for the staple blue jean that somebody like Levi is, offering to the public?
I have had a very controversial conversation with grown men my age, and my statement to them was, stop wearing jeans, you're too old. And I personally wear the athletic golf pants. Now, I don't wear Lululemon. I wear other brands, but I wear the golf athletic pants almost daily now. So I agree with that. That might be that threat to Levi's that Landon is mentioning. Now, it doesn't have to be Lululemon. It can be Nike, Under Armour, Adidas. They all make golf pants now, all different price points, but all of them are a whole different makeup than blue jeans. So men of my age, my message is, you're probably too old to wear jeans. So that's what I'm practicing. So it's been kind of a joking conversation with my friends and I, who all like to wear jeans, and I don't. So it's interesting, but I think this, Levi's, and what you're seeing here, some of it's the overall market, obviously, and Levi's has a chance to thrive and still do well because a lot of people still wear jeans. They're still extremely, they're still very popular. But these athletic pants have cut into jean wearing habits, absolutely 100% in my opinion. Alex?
No, and Landon, I think that ties into what you're saying. And jeans, oftentimes, I think, were the beneficiary of these moves away from very professional dressing for a work environment that moved towards business casual, and ultimately jeans on more than just maybe one day a week over the last decade or so. But now, really, the beneficiary to me seems to almost be, to Kevin's point, some of these athletic style pants that have multifunction and are coming out of brands like Lululemon. And if that was a big spot for a company like Levi's, to me, that has to be a concern. But we're talking about a company that's been cut in half in just, a matter of weeks, really here, Landon. So the question for you is, how much of this has been priced in already, if there is weakness in the brand, weakness in the space?
I think it's overpriced in. I mean, you're talking about a company that was valued at $23 a share 1 year ago at IPO. That's what the market agreed on, and now they're worth $12. That's a huge move. I think that possibly this quarantine stay in place stuff is overplayed as far as the impact on the market. We have a chance to bounce back, and if so, you may be looking back at March of 2020 or April of 2020 and saying, "Wow, look at the prices I could have got in at." Now, of course, things can go lower, and the markets are doing really well lately over the last couple of days. But it's tough to say how can a company be cut in half at this point unless something fundamentally is going wrong with the company, and there really isn't. Yes, they have competition from American Eagle. Yes, they have competition and a movement away from jeans in some regard, people like Kevin. And I want to get in on that debate, Kevin. I want to know what your age is. What's the limit for jeans? But I will say that, for a company like Levi, 67% men, 72% of their clothing is bottom. So we're talking about basically jeans for men. That's their go-to. American Eagle is competing a little bit on that regard. Athleisure is competing on that regard. But you got to have your pair of jeans for going out. Maybe it's not a business setting for all people, but you got to have your good pair of jeans that you love to go out in. And so they were on a really nice uptrend from 2015. This has obviously snapped that as far as revenue and purchase intent. But if there's any kind of recovery in the economy, I think that Levi at 12 is going to look really appealing 6 to 12 months from now.